Hope it is a TGIF for you. I am Maniac, joined by Kevin Massari and Rob Ryan. We are just 10 minutes away from tip-off in Cleveland, maybe a little bit after, depending on how the tournament's running. But Akron, UB, Friday night for a spot to play in the championship tomorrow. Gentlemen, men's hoops, how are we feeling?
Feeling great. It's where you wanted to be, in a position to go to the finals, to play against Buns Bobcats, who did just knock off Toledo. So they played pretty well coming off of their COVID break, and they're stomping to UB just a week or so ago. And they're in the finals looking to play the winner of this game. So it's a lot to look forward to. I'm glad that Toledo team's gone, to be honest. Ohio has their threats, but to have Toledo gone as a team, I didn't think we particularly matched up well. Like them and BG, I didn't want any part of either. And those two are gone. Those are two teams that would play us particularly well based on their styles. I'd rather go against more of the offensive three-point shooting teams that we'll see tonight in Akron. Akron's, for lack of a better term, a one-man show with a couple of supplemental players, and they're missing some key bench players to get into real quickly to kind of start the show off. I mean, they're going to be missing Macy Daly, Michael Wynn, and another bench player that doesn't play too much. So, but those two do get significant minutes, about 30 minutes per game, and are some of their key bench players. So, I mean, you're talking about Laurent Christian Jackson, you're talking about Brian Trimble and Enrique Freeman. That's the team, and all we can do is do what we did the first game against them, and just not allow that 20-point Storm comeback.
I was going to say, just less than 2 weeks ago, UB had a 20-point second half lead over Akron. They narrowed it to 2. Closing games out for this men's team has been an issue all year, Rob. What are we going to do? I mean, it's Cleveland the most crucial of times. We're confident that we can start strong. We're confident that we can continue strong. But how are we going to finish strong tonight against Akron?
You kind of saw yesterday, the announcer said it. You could see Whitesell trying to get them. If they get a lead in the second half, they got to slow it down. They only know one way of playing, and that's fast, and that's why they keep getting these late game disasters where the other team comes back. If they just slow it down when they have a lead, they'll be perfectly fine. It's just they got to learn how to slow down because they only know one way.
Seriously, you only know one way, and we only know one way at Trainwreck Sports, and making sure that we're well kept. We're ready to go out on the town, and of course, that is Manscaped. Get to manscaped.com, 20% off plus free shipping if you use promo code Trainwreck. But there's not going to be any promo codes at Rocket Mortgage. They're going to have to earn everything tonight against the Akron Zips. Kevin, who is your number one bull you're looking at to really get this offense going? And it's the funny thing is, whether it's Mbala or Graves or Jonathan, I mean, with the depth scoring, there really are so many options.
Yeah, what's different about UB is, we've talked about it last show. We talked about it, throughout the season. They don't have that top 6 guy, according to votes and rankings and everything else. You can make arguments for each individual players, but technically, unbiasedly, they didn't have anyone finish in the top 6. But they do have some really key players that are right outside of there that really round out that top 10, though. So what makes UB unique is the ability to score from different players. You can have a down game from Segu or Graves or Jonathan Williams and still come up big. You can't have, what we always say in the show is, you can't have two of the 4 can't have bad days. That's what it comes down to. You're in danger zone if they do. You can get away with one of them not having their best night. All 4 of them played fairly well last game. Graves struggled a little bit, pretty much. He did a lot of the supplemental things well, which he's been doing all season, which they need from Graves. But what I'm looking for is Josh Mbala. He's going to dominate the boards. He is what gives UB a unique advantage in this game specifically. And I think that that's really where they need to key in this one, is getting those rebounds, because, Akron does rebound the ball pretty well themselves, 38.9, 46 in the country, and they score well too. They don't spread the ball particularly well. Why is that? Because it's a one-man show. That's why they don't share the ball particularly well. But other than that, they can rebound it and get it back to LCJ. And, we need to avoid that. And that is why Josh Mbala is probably the biggest part of this game. And, I want to say by far, just because we need to get those boards. He's one of the best rebounding players in the nation. He needs to have a really, really solid day here. And, he went for 15 the first time. They really balanced scoring for their 80 points last game with the big 4. And that's the kind of result you need again today.
Friday night, our UB Bulls on the CBS Sports Network. Robbie, who are you looking for a big-time performance to get this offense going?
Yeah, I think we saw it yesterday. We've seen it all year. I don't think there's anyone that can really. There's no big that can match up against Josh and Bala. Daquan Plowden yesterday, I think, put up about 25 against this Akron team. Josh is bigger than Daquan. So, I mean, if Plowden can do it, Josh can do it. Did it yesterday. I think he's going to be the key. This I kept saying Davon, but I think I'm turning to Josh because most teams have good point guards, but not many teams have bigs like we do. So I think it's going to be we got to go through Josh as usual.
Obviously, it'll be a variety of factors for that UB offense. Speaking of offense, over under in this game, 152.5. UB at game time, it's looking like some spots 3.5, some spots 4. With narrowing that down, let's start with Robbie and then go Kevin. What is your prediction for the Akron Zips Buffalo Bulls coming up just over 5 minutes here on CBS Sports Network?
More like 15, but yeah.
Okay, fair.
I'm gonna go with let's see. That comment's getting me distracted now. Let's see. I'm gonna go with Bulls 85, Akron 78. I think we're gonna see. I think Rondo and Janathan really have found that 3. I hope they did it yesterday, both 5 for 6. They could do it again today with the Josh, with the supplementary secondary scoring with Javon. I think we got this. As long as you can cover LCJ and get rebounds, there's not much that Team Bills can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not incredibly far away from that. I think, these players seem to take over in the MAC tournament. UB's had one with Massenberg in the past. You've seen players like Marion Jackson and others play really, really well in stretches in Cleveland. LCJ is another that you have to watch out for because he can win the game. Preston played super well just now. So these individual point guards can take over a game, and that's what's a little bit scary about having someone like Lauren Christian Jackson. Went for 27 points, didn't play particularly well against UB last time, went 10 for 28. You guys know I don't like that shooting percentage. That's not going to get it done. If you're going to take 28 toss-ups and make 10 of them, it's going to be a rough day when you have Ali and Trimble getting 0 points. It's not a recipe for success, even though they did cut it to 2. I do think he's around the same, maybe shoots a little bit more efficiently today. So I don't think them not sharing the ball particularly well is good. They only had 11 assists against UB the first time, 20 fouls. They don't match up particularly well against this UB team. So I have a 79. I think they're going to play a little bit of defense because I think that's the way to get it done, especially with missing some of those depth pieces. They're going to go run through LCJ, play some defense, but I think UB hold it off 79-74. That's the number I've just been sticking to in the last 24 hours.
Love it. Love it. Mbala, Sugu back with the efficient shooting from the outside. I think UB is too much for Akron in this one. I do think it is a little bit more offensive. We saw a strong offensive start yesterday, and then things kind of tapered off. I see UB winning this one 85-72. So a little bit more of a blowout than people think. I think they capitalize on a strong start, come out of second half strong, and they don't allow Akron to get back into it like they did a couple of weeks ago. And obviously, before we sign off here, wouldn't be right to do a bullet point show without shouting out our UB women's hoops team. Unfortunately, season came to an end earlier against Bowling Green. Robbie, I think it was a little bit of both. The Bulls just couldn't get off the ground offensively those first 3 quarters. I think the defense was doing the job till then. And right when UB found their stride offensively, Bowling Green just couldn't miss.
Yeah, in the first half, it was pretty rough. Alyssa Brett was covering the age affair very well most of the game. We finally got that little break with the Jessica Schiffer 3 threes in a row, but on the next possession, they decided to let Lauren Christie bring up the ball. They get turnover, and that just ended the momentum for the rest of the game. Bowling Green capitalized on our 2-3 zone. They were hitting their threes. They had 14, and nothing to really do about it.
Most definitely. I mean, anytime if you watch UB women's, they play good defense. So you can talk about Bowling Green hitting 50% of their threes all you want. That's just good shooting at the end of the day. And anytime a team does that, it is always going to be a tough matchup. So shout out to Deasia Fair, Hannah Hall, Summer Hemphill, that whole crew. Obviously, our minds, hearts are with you guys, whether you're coming back from Cleveland or not. But another great season in the books for UB women's hoops. But this season isn't over. Weitzel & Co., they're not ready to go home. We want to get a W. We want to get on to Saturday. Gentlemen, is there anything left to say?
I think you can say one thing, Maniac.
Let's go, Bulls. horns, a